right, thank you so much, everybody, for coming out. This is the Duval CORE's first press conference. We are the coalition of rank and file educators. We also are parents and stakeholders and community members that are very upset with the current conditions in our school. We are teachers, we are mothers, we are all types of people, and we have something to say. We thought that it was very important to come to the school board today because we have seen the rise in cases in the Duval County Public School, and CORE was established in response to that. We decided that the current status quo is just not enough. The current status quo is not enough at all whatsoever, and we need something greater, and we need something bigger, and we need something better. I'm a teacher in Duval County Public Schools. My name is Monique Sampson. I teach U.S. history. I've been teaching for a couple years now. I thought that I was being relatively safe, and I thought and trusted that the district would keep us relatively safe. But after I caught COVID 3 weeks ago, it was the worst experience of my life. I actually caught it the first week that we returned back from winter break. I am an expectant mother, so I caught COVID while pregnant. It was the worst couple days of my life. For the first 2.5 days, I could not eat. I could not move at all whatsoever. My baby, who is a very active baby, was not moving at all, and I was very scared that my high fever would result in a miscarriage. You see, these are the decisions that teachers are having to make. We are having to put our lives on the line and our bodies on the line, and we are having to sacrifice our families in order to keep up with the current status quo, and that is something that is not acceptable. We are not sacrificial lambs to the district. We are not sacrificial lambs to the governor, and we demand mitigation strategies and mitigation and safety measures be put in place so nobody has to choose between themselves and their family and a profession that they love. They tell us that we are heroes and that we are great, but heroes are respected and heroes are protected, and right now educators are not feeling respected and we are not feeling protected. I love my students. When I had COVID and I had a fever, while I was worrying about my daughter possibly dying, I was also worried about my students who did not have a substitute because the shortage is so bad, that were not going to be able to get their work done, that were not going to be able to have the teacher that they were safe with because I was out. I shouldn't be having to worry about those things, but here we are because there are no mitigation measures that are set in place. My students are experiencing COVID at a high rate. There's no contact tracing in the school. This year, I don't think I've had a full class at all whatsoever because my students are either gone because they have caught COVID or their loved ones have caught COVID. But they're telling us to continue on like this is a normal year and like business as usual. There's nothing normal about this year. I had one student that lost 2 loved ones in the course of a week because of a virus that she caught at school and brought home. And that grief still sticks with her every day. She's not the same student. But all of this could be avoided if we had mitigation measures and safety measures set in place for our kids. We cannot have our students choose between their education and possibly killing their loved ones that are immunocompromised, that are elderly, or that catch the virus and die because we don't know how it's going to affect the average person. So the Duval CORE is demanding a few things. We're demanding PPE because in our schools it is not regular. It is few and far between. We have to rely on community members like Pastor Kim who will speak to donate PPE to our schools. We're demanding mitigation measures. We're demanding education for parents and for stakeholders and incentives for parents and for stakeholders to choose safety. We're also asking the district to step up. We need you guys to step up and keep us safe. It's not enough to call us a hero and give us Jean Friday and Pizza Friday. That's not enough anymore. We need you all to keep us safe so we can provide an education for our students. Students deserve to learn in a productive and safe learning environment, and there's nothing productive and safe about the learning environment this year because COVID is ravaging through our schools. So please, please listen to educators, to parents, and to students that will speak to you today at this press conference because what we're doing right now in the status quo is not enough. So next up, we will have Pastor Kim, who is a parent of a Duval County Public School student.
Thank you, Monique. I'm honored to be here. I am Pastor Kim. I am from Live Church here in Jacksonville, Florida. I am also the parent of 6 children, and in May, I will be graduating my 6th child from the Duval County Public School System. The last time I was here, there were doctors and nurses coming from the local hospital, speaking on behalf of our students, right, and their patients. Then Superintendent Green, she made the right decision, and she instituted masks in the schools. We need to make that right decision today for our children. Our nonprofit, Live CDC, along with our partners, Amazon, Dedicated Senior Centers, and the First Coast Black Nurses, prior to the Christmas break and the week after, we delivered at least 5,000 masks to various schools throughout Jacksonville. We are currently having masks and disinfectant delivered as of today. As much as we are able to give, that is what we share and we send out for our teachers and for our students. We have done everything possibly that we know how to help prevent COVID within our school system. We even kept our son home. We have a 18-year-old son who is a senior in one of our Duval schools, and he came home Thursday, tested positive for COVID. So let me share with you how that affects us as a family. We have a daughter who works at Mayo. So in order for her to do her job, she has to stay COVID-free. I have a husband who is a paraplegic and myself who is also immunocompromised. We cannot afford to get COVID. We've done everything possible that we could to ensure that COVID did not arrive to our homes. We kept our son home for 2 years and let him be, he went online schooling, but this is his senior year. And he wanted to be with his friends this year. So we allowed him to go back, hoping and believing that Superintendent Green would keep our children safe. But the bottom line is, that has not been the case. Had there been contact tracing, maybe my son would have given us the notice that he was exposed. And then thereby ensuring that we were not going to be exposed. So it's important that we take this into consideration. We have to decide not to give parents full and total rights in a pandemic, right? I'm a parent, yes, I like to make just choices for my children, but I would rather make the choice or have the choice made to not only protect my child, but to protect everyone, our teachers, our students, right? And the parents and their loved ones, because these children go home. The highest numbers here are in elementary schools. If you look at the numbers now, the high schools have the highest numbers. This disease is contagious. 1.5% is what they're telling us. Each variant is even more contagious, it seems, than the other. But yet we're not making right decisions. As educators, as superintendents, for our teachers. My son I have a girlfriend who works at the school. She just went back to work. The second day back, she has COVID. This is unacceptable. She stayed out because she had health conditions. So we should not have to make these choices. We need them to make the right decisions. There's no apology or excuse that we can give for a dead child or a dead teacher. There's no reason for it. We need to do better. We need to make better choices. And I hope today that they make the right decision and make the right decisions for our schools, for our parents, and for our teachers. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Matt Hartley. I'm a Duval Schools parent, 2 kids in the Duval Schools, and I'm here to support the teachers. I am the grandchild and the son of public school teachers. I was a public school teacher here in Duval Schools myself, and I believe that public education at its best can protect our children and can be a place where we honor our teachers. But we can't do that if we don't provide a safe environment with PPE, with contact tracing, and I hope the school board will do something because it seems like they want to go with the flow sometimes of the way that the state government is going, and instead of standing up and being courageous for our teachers who need to be protected and safe as they educate our children who need the same. I was a public school teacher for 6 years, and I loved my students. I loved being in the classroom, but it was a challenging profession to stay in. I can't even imagine what our teachers are going through right now in the face of COVID and not being supported by their district. So I've got kids who have been dodging COVID in their classrooms. They're wearing PPE, but if we can get more protective masks, the right kind of masks in the hands of our kids, and in the hands of our staff and our faculty, then we provide more protection in our schools. The contact tracing also is just a no-brainer. My kids love to be with their friends. They love to be close to them, and they're going to wear their masks. But some of their friends aren't wearing masks, and so contact tracing is something that helps us as families as well to figure out if we've been exposed or not. So all of these are very reasonable asks from our teachers, and so I hope that we'll listen to them and support them, and that's what I would ask the district to do. Thank you.
Hi, so I'm a DCPS student. I'm in 8th grade right now. And right now at my school we are dealing with COVID problems. Right now my first and second period teacher is out with COVID. My 7th period teacher just got back from COVID. And my 5th period teacher just came back from COVID about a week ago. We don't have any substitutes because the only substitutes we have are in science, and it's one man, and we have 3 science classes. And most of the time, 2 of them are out at most. So he can only sub 1 of them. And then also, whenever my first period teacher's out, I have algebra 1, it's my first and second period class. She's been out for a week now, and nobody's been able to sub her class. So these teachers, as you walk down the hall, you'll see lists taped on the door, and they're split lists. So we have to split, go into other people's classes, interfere with other kids' learning, because our teacher wasn't affected by COVID. Also, I wanted to talk about the masks. Last year, I donated a box of about 500 masks, cloth masks, and I didn't know what happened to them because it was at the end of the year. I assumed they went to storage or they were being used. And one of my teachers, I won't say her name, she told me that she was in storage in the front, and she found the teachers, or the principal had said that there was no masks at all. And she found boxes and boxes of masks, and one big box of 500 cloth masks that were white. So now we're thinking, oh, the principal is taking the masks and just keeping them in storage and not just giving them out to the kids and the teachers who need them. And these teachers don't have masks to give to the kids, and the kids, you'll hear them as I'm walking in the front door of the school. Do you have a mask I can use? No, your parent has to give you one. Do you have a mask I can use? No, your parent has to give you one. That's what you say whenever you have boxes and boxes of unused masks. That's just disrespectful to me because I have family that's immunocompromised. My brother is about to turn 1 year old, and I have a lot of family that's immunocompromised all around. I haven't been able to see a lot of my family because I'm scared that I'm going to get them sick. I just got back from a sickness. It wasn't COVID, but I just got back from a sickness. I come back to school, my first and second period teacher is gone, and my 7th period teacher is gone. So, boom, I don't have Algebra 1, and I don't have health. That's not fair to me, and it's not fair to other students that I have to interview with learning. So, that's just my point of view being inside of the school.
Hi, I'm her mom. So I just want to be really clear. We need to treat each other like human beings. Teachers are teachers, but they're also humans. We are all in a community together. If we are not respecting each other, how do we expect our up-and-coming children who are eventually going to be grown-ups to respect each other? We need to be very clear on this. This is a fundamental issue. This is a human rights issue. We are putting our teachers at risk every day and paying them little to nothing. I worked in the healthcare field for 18 years. 18 years of my life were given to the healthcare field, and when COVID hit, I had no support and had no choice but to quit my career of 18 years. I am her mom, I am a community member, but I'm very concerned for my friends who are teachers, my friends who are talking about being put at life-endangering situations every single day for, what, less than $50,000 a year? Like, are you serious right now? People need to understand, we are starving already. We don't need to be smacked in the face by a pandemic and telling us that we are not worthy of basic human rights. Give people masks. Provide them at school. I've had nothing but troubles with Duval County school systems to begin. Let's not get started. But real life, our teachers are so important. How do we expect our entire community to learn and get better if we're not educating them properly and not giving people masks? This is unbelievable. Putting them at life-endangering situations every single day and paying them less than what a police officer makes. Let me be really clear. If 50% of our budget can go to the cops, and we have more than 70% unsolved crimes, then our teachers can have a damn mask.
My name is Christina Kittle, and I'm a community member and organizer, but I also used to be a teacher, and I was a teacher before COVID. And I actually stopped teaching when COVID hit, and I realized that there were not going to be realistic protections. I saw the plans, heard them, and went on our first day and realized that there's just absolutely no way, because first, they get on the buses, and there was no protection on the buses being implemented, and then they come into the schools, and like everyone already said, kids like being around their friends, we get hot, people pull down their masks all the time. There was just nothing really being done. And there's something very painful about that when you think about it as a city. I love Jacksonville so much that it hurts seeing our schools go through this. The kids already struggled with staying in school before COVID, but this was something that told them that they were not important enough to be protected. It is hard being a teacher. Teachers, we already know, do not make enough money. And it used to be that a school shooter was something that teachers had to be ready for. Code Red drills, getting prepared in case someone came and killed their students. Now there's a deadly virus they also have to be worried about. These are things that teachers walk into every single day and just seem to be taken for granted. They keep our kids safe the best that they can, but there's just no way to stay safe in this situation. Children or teachers anymore. They have not been for a long time, and we've been tiptoeing around it. But now that we have a pandemic, and we have a body count from it, we need to wake up. Jacksonville needs to wake up and see that schools are not safe, and we need to do some radical changes to turn it around. What the Corps is asking for here, very simple things, and I hope that we can just do the right thing and listen to these teachers. They're the only people. Teachers and the students right now in the schools at this moment are the only people who have the realistic lay of the land to know what to demand and what is best for the kids. Listen to them. Listen to your teachers. Make it better. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Christina. My name is Monica Gold. I am a 6th grade language arts teacher here in Duval County Public Schools. I'm speaking on behalf of Duval CORE, the Coalition of Rank and File Educators. I'm just going to reiterate our demands and close us out for today. PPE to be supplied to teachers and students. So teachers should have a surplus of masks, but not cloth masks. They should have KN95s in their classrooms. They should have those for themselves as well. We're also demanding for district contact tracing. We understand that the Department of Health has stopped contact tracing. It is within the power of the district and the schools to do their own contact tracing so that people can know who in their class is sick, who in their school is sick, so then they can actually be empowered to make decisions concerning their own health, and they don't just have to guess each time a student is absent. If that means that other students in their class likely have COVID as well, teachers shouldn't have to be playing a guessing game about their own health. And our other demand is for a district-wide vaccine campaign. So we believe that the school board and the superintendent should be doing more to make the vaccine accessible for students that have parental consent to receive the vaccine.
polio was eradicated in the United States because they actually used schools to do that. So schools played a major role in that. And so we don't have to worry about polio anymore. And so schools could easily have vaccine buses at their schools to provide vaccines to students that have parental consent. We could use Wellness Wednesday to educate students on the COVID-19 vaccine, what it is, what it isn't, dispelling misinformation about it. And also we could send home helpful information to parents and families so they can learn where to get vaccinated, they can learn more information about it. We could even provide incentives, just like teachers had incentives for receiving the vaccines, we could provide incentives for students and families for receiving the vaccines. Because science shows that the vaccines are effective. They are effective in stopping the spread, and they're also effective in lessening the effects of the virus. So even if someone does contract the virus, it shouldn't mean that they end up in the hospital, and vaccines can prevent people from ending up in the hospital and having serious effects from the virus. So those are our demands. Thank you all so much for coming out. I appreciate it a lot.